Hello everybody, this is Mrs Hatrick and I'm going to read, excuse me, my favourite book to you. This is called The Promise, hope you can see that okay. And The Promise is by Nicola Davis and it's illustrated by Lauren Carlin. And I've chosen this because it's a very special book to me. It's a book of hope and a book of a message that really, if you want to, you can change anything. And also I love the illustrations in there. Now, some children in my class will be very familiar with this, but hopefully this book will be new to a lot of children. The Promise. When I was young, I lived in a city that was mean and hard and ugly. Its streets were dry as dust, cracked by the heat and the cold, and never blessed with rain. A gritty yellow wind blew constantly, scratching around the buildings like a hungry dog. Nothing grew, everything was broken. No one ever smiled. The people had grown as mean and hard and ugly as their city, and I was mean and hard and ugly too. I lived by stealing from those who had almost as little as me. My heart was as shriveled as a dead tree in a park. I'm going to hold it up there. And you can see, there she is, the young girl. Unfortunately, she's living by stealing from other people. You can see the expressions on their faces. They don't look very happy. And then, one night, I met an old lady down a dark street. She was frail and alone, an easy victim. Her bag was full and fat. But when I tried to snatch it from her, she held on with the strength of heroes. To and fro we pulled that bag until at last she said, "If you promise to plant them, I will let go." What did she mean? I didn't know nor care. I just wanted that bag. So I said, "All right, I promise." She loosened her grip, and at once she smiled at me. I ran off without a backward look, thinking of the food and money I had in my bag. There's the young girl running off across the dark and desolate streets with a bag. You just see her with a bag full on her back. So what was in the bag? But when I opened it, there were only acorns. I stared at them, so green, so perfect, and so many, and I understood the promise I had made. I held a forest in my arms, and my heart was changed. I forgot about food and money, and for the first time in my life, I felt lucky, rich beyond my wildest dreams. I slept with the acorns for my pillow, and my head was filled with leafy visions. And in the morning, I began to keep my promise. So there she is, falling asleep. Unfortunately, she's sleeping on the streets. You just about see her there with her head on the bag of acorns. And as you can see, there's lots of lovely colour, birds and nature in her dreams. She's sleeping on a park bench. I planted beside roads and on roundabouts, among rubble, ruins and rusty railings, by train tracks, tram lines and traffic lights. There she is, that little figure. You see the dots of acorns that she's planting along horrible, grim cityscapes. What do you think is going to happen next? Planted in abandoned parks, in gardens laced with broken glass, behind factories and shopping malls, at bus stops, cafes, blocks of flats. I pushed aside the mean and the hard and the ugly, and I planted and planted and planted. Nothing changed at first. The gritty wind still scratched the parched, cracked streets. The people scowled and scuttled to their homes like little cockroaches. But slowly, 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 shoots of green began to grow. Can you see? There they are, little green shoots beginning to grow. Trees, first here, then there, then everywhere. People came into the streets to see. They touched the leaves in wonder and they smiled. They took tea together by the tiny little trees and they talked and they laughed. Look at the joy, people skipping in amazement and happiness, these little green trees that are growing up everywhere. And pretty soon, they were planting too, trees, flowers, fruit and vegetables in parks and gardens, on balconies and rooftops. Look at what's happened to this mean and ugly city. It's bursting with life and colour. Aren't those illustrations beautiful? Look, little birds nesting on somebody's balcony. Green spread through the city like a song, breathing to the sky, drawing down rain like a blessing. But by then I was far away, planting in another sad and sorry city. So she moved on. And another, there she is, planting up. Doesn't look like England, does it? Those big palm trees. And another. What country do you think that might be? Full of bicycles. And another. Look, wonderful, colourful lanterns that are hanging from the trees there. And at last, in a lonely alley, a young thief fought me for the sack of acorns. I smiled and made the old bargain, knowing how a heart can change, knowing that the planting will go on. So I wonder who the next person was to take on that wonderful role of planting and changing people's lives. So I hope you've enjoyed that book, but maybe you can think about the message that book is trying to say, and maybe you can think about how you could change somebody's life or change the environment around you and what you could do through planting. Maybe you could think about what we could do in school and plant up some wonderful areas. And perhaps you could look for any other books you know by Nicola Davis, the author, and the illustrator, Lauren Carlin. I've got some of Lauren Carlin's other books illustrated. If you want to see any of them, these wonderful illustrations, come find me down in Year 6. Have a wonderful, wonderful time on World Book Day, and I hope you can all share some wonderful stories with each other.